Hi there everyone, welcome back. Let's make 2 birthday cards featuring the Simply Beautiful Ensemble. These cards with focal floral elements are sure to suit any recipient and are so easy to make. The Simply Beautiful Ensemble contains a debossing plate, 6x6 stencil, hot foil plate and sentiment dies, and the sketched florals stamp and die set. The sentiments within the ensemble are perfect for birthdays and any other instance you may need a handmade card. I'm starting with the sketched florals stamp and die set, and if you haven't gotten a chance to check out the Altenew Stampwheel, I have that linked in the description box. On my Stampwheel stage and sticky mats, I have the alignment stencils as well. Creating radiating floral arrangements is such an easy way to add an instant floral focal point that is also your background. But instead of centering the wreath on my card front, I want to shift the center up slightly by moving my panel down, but aligning the panel to the thicker side of the alignment stencil. Altenew has recently revamped their ink line for this fresh formulation. I'll use the Golden Sunset Fresh Dye Ink bundle to color the blooms. I aligned the H1 of sketched florals on a quarter of the flip plate and will complete a revolution of the stamp wheel. Aligning the H3 layer is so simple, especially since the layers don't need to exactly match. I used the jet black fresh dye ink for all of the outline layers. Then I filled the background with the A1 layer in chamomile. Then to add in the foliage, starting with the F1 layer, I used the Greenfields Fresh Dye Ink set. This is the set that includes jet black. So I filled the background with F1 in Forest Glades, then the smaller I1 layer in Frayed Leaf. To finish this background, I used Sunray to fill in the gaps in my off-center wreath for the C1, D1, and E1 layers. I finished this panel with the H2 and A2 layers in Evergreen. If you are replicating a wreath arrangement with quarter turns, I recommend starting with larger stamp images and working to smaller ones so that all your focal images fit. Then you can fill gaps with smaller elements. Before I set this panel aside, I'm adding the From All of Us sentiment to the center of the wreath in jet black. And here's another pro tip. I like to add splatters to wreath arrangements because I think it helps break up the radial pattern and fills in empty spaces in your arrangement. I use jet black ink spray as my go-to splatter medium. Now I can put this panel aside and work on assembling this card. An excellent addition to your sentiment die sets is Versatile Greetings 2 die set. I stacked 3 layers of white cardstock for the sentiment, then mounted the white cardstock onto the vellum offset layer. To assemble this card, I added a 1-inch scrap of black cardstock to the bottom of my folded note card base. I cut a small angular piece from the bottom space of the original wreath background so that the 1-inch panel shows through. Then finally, I added the die-cut Versatile Greetings for a complete happy birthday sentiment. I joined so many talented instructors for the Secret Garden retreats earlier this year. In the retreat kit were these exclusive fresh dye inks called the Deco Garden Collection. So many possibilities with these inks. I'll start with mid-yellow on a panel of white cardstock by making a 2/3 gradient for my background. I love the large ink blending tool and the Altenew sticky mat for perfect gradients. Then on top of this panel, I'll use the dusty pink for this two-toned gradient. In the Simply Beautiful Ensemble is this Dotted Waves debossing cover die. This die is slightly larger than an A2 sized panel, and there are no die cut edges to it, so no need to perfectly align your panel to the die. What I love about this debossing cover die is that it also has a coordinating dotted waves stencil. I'll align the pattern of the dots to the stencil and add a shadow gradient in coral red. Back to the Sketched Florals stamp set, I stamped the F1, G1, and I1 layers in Olive, and the B1 layer in Navy. I used the coordinating dies to cut these solid impressions. I glued the images together to make this wavy branch. Then with the Versatile Greetings 2 hot foil plate and die set, I hot foiled the happy sentiment and used the offset die to cut it out. Then in Pool Fresh Dye ink, I stamped part of the So Very Much sentiment from Sketched Florals. So now we're ready to assemble this card. I added the wavy dotted background to a folded note card base. Then I am mounting the wavy stamped branch and foiled happy sentiment with a bundle of antique gold thread to the dotted waves panel. I'll add the So Very sentiment banner to the stamped branch. Then finish this card with antique gold sequins. Those are 2 birthday cards and pairings made with the Simply Beautiful ensemble. This ensemble is sure to add a whimsical touch to your crafting stash. My series encourages you to shop your existing Altenew stash and rekindle their love with newer releases. Perfect Pairings with Jaycee airs on the Altenew channel every 2nd and 4th Sunday of the month. Please make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much for tuning in to this Perfect Pairing episode with me, and I'll see you in the next one.
Hello there! Did that video just spark your creativity? And do you want more project ideas and inspiration videos too? Well, if you do, please make sure that you subscribe to the Altenew YouTube channel. Also, make sure that you do click that notification bell so you don't miss a video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye bye!